Hey guys, welcome to the show. Let's discuss the state of the country as we head into tomorrow's 2022 midterm elections. America is setting records, folks. We are truly going into uncharted territory and setting those records under this current administration in Washington, D.C. Under Joe Biden's absent-minded, addle-brained, and dementia-ridden leadership, we are seeing record inflation in every aspect of our lives. From fuel prices to groceries, the value of our dollar is melting faster than the chocolate chip ice cream cone Joe is inevitably licking right at this moment. We have a president that won't face the nation, won't face real questions, and won't face the facts. America is deteriorating before our eyes, and our freedoms are being taken away. These are not records that I want to set, folks. Free speech has been throttled in the name of ideological acceptance and inclusivity. Facts are racist. Jokes are hate speech. Common sense is rationalized away as antiquated. Complex and critical thinking is obsolete, and this generation of Americans have been dumbed down by being spoon-fed fast food garbage information by mainstream talking heads 24/7 for the last 40 years. The fringe controls the airwaves and the agenda. Unelected bureaucrats and shadowy billionaires run our government and politicians, while said politicians make a career out of getting elected and making millions of dollars laundering and pandering to and pilfering off of the American citizen. They seemingly care more about Ukraine than the United States right now. The people in charge these days say that they are the party of science, yet they deny biology. They worship at the altar of climate change. They blame every one of America's ills on some imaginary form of systemic racism. God and guiding principles have been replaced with the exaltation of man and his every appetite and whim. Our unborn are treated as unimportant inconveniences, and the sanctity of human life means nothing. People who have the constitutional right to defend themselves are treated as criminals when they do so. In public schools, our children are exposed to sexualization like never before, and many are even encouraged to question their gender identity every day, and this by their teachers. They're taught that they're inherently racist and that society is doomed unless they learn early and often to self-condemn and self-flagellate and make apologizing for their ancestral sins their agenda and practice for the rest of their lives. These last few years, we have been subjected to medical tyranny, corporate tyranny, big tech tyranny, judicial tyranny, big government tyranny, bureaucratic tyranny, educational tyranny, and even mainstream tyranny. And I'm just sitting here wondering, at what point are we going to start spilling tea into the harbor? Now, we've lost our national identity, and we've lost our national pride, and thus we've also lost our sense of destiny. We don't know where we're going. We're lost. What this generation of Americans will leave behind will be the destructive and tragic wake of a cultural storm unprecedented in human history. When America falls, who's going to be there to fill the vacuum where freedom once reigned? The evils of communism and Marxism and their glorification of man's inhumanity to man will rush to fill that empty void, and great will be the death toll that ensues. While the left in America continues to prop up its puppets like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and proposes candidates with the oratorical and leadership skills of an orangutan like John Fetterman in Pennsylvania or Alexandria Cortez in New York, those among us that claim to color with a more reddish hue will continue to bow to, unfortunately, the lifelong career worthlessness of a Mitch McConnell or a Lindsey Graham and pursue a cult of personality rather than embrace the principles of small government and true conservatism. So what's tomorrow going to bring? Will we see a legitimate red wave that forces a more honest manner of man or woman to hold Big Brother accountable, or will we simply see more of the same pandering to power and political and cultural ideology that glorifies the fringiest and the cringiest among us? While people care more about celebrities leaving Twitter than they do the state of a nation, I can't say that I'm very hopeful regardless. Our Constitution and Bill of Rights have gone largely ignored to the point of being abused with great regularity by those that claim to represent we the people. But how would we the people even know, since we've never read the Constitution and certainly never learned either the Constitution or our Bill of Rights? Now, I pray that the people of these formerly united states will show up and vote with a margin that far exceeds Big Brother's threshold of cheating, and that true accountability can be brought back, and the guilty parties will ultimately pay for the true sins that live among us, and that is the sin of destroying the greatest idea in country that has ever graced human history. While Washington, D.C. and big government tyranny is setting records across the nation, tomorrow we have the opportunity to set the record straight. What's going to happen? Well, we'll see. Welcome to Monday's episode of the Chad Prather Show. I sent that monologue right there over to the powers that be at Blaze, and I said, put this in an article. So find it at theblaze.com, and you can read that over Thanksgiving dinner to your family, your friends, your loved ones, the ones that still choose to show up to your family gatherings after the last 2 years. My favorite person, Kayla, at the helm, along with Super Chris Cruz. And what is tomorrow going to hold? I want to encourage you guys. I don't know. Did y'all early vote? Did you vote? Should I ask? Do I even dare ask anything? You guys, you right on it? Oh, you got your sticker? Don't count if you don't get the sticker. 100%. No, I didn't early vote. I'm voting in the morning. I'm voting day of. They messed up. Here's the deal. They messed up my registration or my address change.
Yeah, you said that.
Remember we were talking about that? Thanks, government. I changed addresses and I had to change polling places, and they failed to do it. So I have to go back and vote at my old polling place, which is going to be a real pain in the ass and very upsetting if I get there and say, "Oh no, you're registered somewhere else," even though the Secretary of State here in the state of Texas still says I'm at the old polling place. So anyway, these are the nightmares we deal with. I go back to this. The only way I'll trust votes in America, and I do hope everybody shows up. I've been saying this over and over again. We're going to be talking about it tomorrow night. If you don't have Blaze, get blazetv.com. You can still subscribe. Go to blazetv.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad. Sign up. We're all going to be here, big panel discussion. We're going to be watching the election returns as they come in. Stu's going to be standing in front of his big chalkboard, keeping track of the numbers. And, of course, Glenn's going to be the head of it all. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining, but we're going to give you some real straight stuff. I mean, you know when Dave Rubin and Steve Day show up, it's going to be real good. Who else is coming? Michael Malice, Sarah Gonzalez. I'll be there, and God only knows who else is going to show up. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. Megyn Kelly supposedly going to show up. We'll see what happens there. But you never know. You never know who might show up on the Blaze. So get it, blazetv.com/Chad. Boy, howdy. We are living in some crazy woke times, and everybody's dealing with whether they're going to get canceled or their voice isn't going to be heard, or whether you even trust the elections. And that's what I was going to say is, I still say we need to, nationwide, but certainly on the state level, that we need to clean the voter rolls. I mean, just wipe it out. Nobody, as of January 1, nobody's registered to vote. Now, everybody's got to go back, register to vote. We have 1 day of elections, 1 day of voting. Those people show up and do that. You put your thumbprint on the bottom of the deal, you stick it in the machine, and bam, it's done. There, your vote is cast. Everybody should have to go re-register to vote, and let's start all over again, seeing who's alive, who's legal, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And I've heard that on the part of the Democrats, back in 2016, they reread in the street so much about election interference and all that, and they really want an integrity when it comes to the voting system. So they have promised this year to let their dead relatives only vote once. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow. It's going to be a nail biter. Welcome to the show, sitting over here in the hot seat, my good buddy. 5 times August in the house. Got a new album out. How have you been?
Pretty good. It's been it's almost a 1 year anniversary since the first time I was on the show with you.
Has it been a year?
Yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Time flies.
But it's good.
Yeah.
Good to be back.
You got the new album out, and this thing, you got the whole deal. You got the CD and everything. God, this feels nostalgic right here.
Yeah. I wanted it to.
The pearl case and the whole deal. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I put lyrics in there and everything. I wanted you to be able to sit down and listen to an album and read along with the lyrics and stuff. But we're doing CD, and we've got a vinyl too coming out.
Loving this
record. So
Silent War.
Yeah,
5 times August. This, and do you do all this art?
I do.
See, you do all your own videos.
Yeah.
God, it'd be dangerous if I knew how to do that stuff. I sent you a text message. I was like, dude, I got these videos, I got these songs coming out. I need your video making skills. Because every now and then I'm like, God, that's so creative.
Yeah.
But you've got, of course, last time you were on here, you were talking about your song that was dedicated to no person in particular, but he was an infectious disease guy. Still is, I guess, called Sad Little Man.
Yeah.
And
I was facing some my first heavy censorship with that one.
Did you get a lot of censorship on that deal?
Yeah, Glenn Beck shared it, and as soon as Glenn shared it, my YouTube views were going up.
Yeah,
like nothing, and all of a sudden, people couldn't find it in the YouTube search. I was getting little comments on YouTube saying,
wow,
I can't seem to find this. And then soon after that, Wikipedia deleted the 5 times August page.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's been up for like, I don't know, over 10 years. Never had a problem. All of a sudden, it was gone. So little things like that where you're like, really? This 5 times August page taking up that much real estate on Wikipedia that they've got to remove it. It's causing too much trouble. So, yeah, it's funny.
That's insane, dude. But all the music is good. The videos are always entertaining, and I love it. But you got 12 songs on this. You got 12 cuts.
12 songs, top to bottom, about freedom and truth, and they're all in order that I wrote and released them. There's sort of a story from start to finish.
Yeah.
The first song I wrote and released was called "God Help Us All," and takes you through. Thank you.
It's a good one.
Thank you. Yeah, and it just sort of takes you through the last 2 years, and I feel like it's probably volume 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it doesn't seem to be slowing down.
You're writing an anthology.
Maybe. We'll see.
I like that idea. The art in here is fantastic. I mean, this is nostalgic for me, a CD case. I mean, look at where we've come. I mean, we went from albums, right, vinyl albums, which I'm a collector. I love them, and I'll get yours when it comes out. Let me know. The 8 tracks and the cassettes, and then we had all the 45s and...
Yeah. Well, see, I feel like we got to get back to physical products because if it's all digital, then what do we have to hand down?
You don't.
To people?
There's no heirlooms.
Yeah, right.
There's no heirlooms. I was at people that know. I go to Antiques Week in Round Top, Texas, a couple times a year when they have it, and I always look for the places that are selling vinyl. Inevitably, you'll have people out there that have all the antique stuff, and then there's vinyl records, and you'll find them and they're in good shape. But I love the album cover you got on this thing because it's you hit a bunch of Easter eggs in there.
Oh yeah,
and it's a lot of fun. So you guys got to go get it. And of course, that doesn't mean we encourage you to do. It's not either or. It's both and. Don't just get the streaming. Also get the CD. Right, and 5timesaugust.com. And so get all the stuff. Get the tangibles and the non-tangibles.
Yeah.
And make sure you're listening. And you got to do that because I've said this over and over again. You got to support these independent artists who aren't woke. And you've heard the story a million times, people getting canceled. It's so insane to me, dude, that people are that threatened by a song.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting because like when Wikipedia deleted my page, I was having back and forths with the moderators on the other end, and they're telling me what I can put on my Wikipedia page.
It's insane.
Isn't that insane? So, that's been the big test with this for me was I released one song after another. By the time I had gotten to Sad Little Man, it was like, well, let's just see if they can appreciate art for what it is.
Right.
But they can't. And so now they're telling you what you can enjoy in music and movies. That's why the physical copy is so important because they can change and remove the digital aspect of music and movies and books, and we'll never know if it was edited or because we won't have the old version to hold on to. Yeah,
I was telling the story about how okay, let's get into this. So I think of what you do. We're not going to have time in this segment. We're going to continue in the next. Let's talk about protest music because I think of what you do as protest music. So people think of Bob Dylan, the music of the 60s, all this kind of stuff. They were protest songs, right? I love protest songs. And people would sing along with them whether they knew what they were agreeing with or not, right?
Yeah.
So lately I've been going back through and I love Bob Dylan's song Hurricane, which talks about, the false accusation of the boxer and what happened and they put him in prison and all this. And I was actually in a spin class at a gym, believe it or not, and they were playing Hurricane over the thing, and I was like, do they know this song has the N-word in it? But they don't censor that. They don't because it's Bob Dylan, right?
Yeah. Right.
They don't go back and do those kind of things because you can't because there's too many. You can't go back and censor David Allan Coe. There's too many albums out there that say what he said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if it's nothing but digital releases, you're right. That's a great point on that.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about where you come in on that. I got to go to a break. I got to sell stuff. We're still capitalists. But I want to talk some more about the protest nature of music and art. Let's get into it. Hey, it's a pretty scary thing to realize you're not as secure as you thought you were, and sometimes that realization comes in places you wouldn't expect. I want you to listen to what this cyber thief has to say about his role in committing home title theft.
Nobody thinks that I can take their house and borrow against the house. Oh, no, I have title insurance for that. No, it's in my name, or he would have to get some special document. They would call me. Nobody's calling you. After I've stolen the title, borrowed against it, or sold the property, or done whatever I've done with it, it's 60 to 90 days to even figure out that they're the victim of this crime. By that point, you start getting foreclosure notices, and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house. Not only that, you don't even own your home anymore. It's not even in your name.
Home title fraud is growing 2.5 times faster than credit card fraud. You could be a victim and not even know it. Here's how you protect yourself. I want you to go to HometitleLock.com and use promo code radio, register your address, and you're going to get a no-obligation home title report. It's a $100 value. You're going to get that for free, and they'll tell you if your home's title is being tampered with. You need to go to HometitleLock.com, and that's promo code radio. Register, see if you're a victim. Do it today. HometitleLock.com. We'll be right back. So, talking about that, you would think that if you look at the history of protest music and art and those kind of things, which all, in my opinion, all of that great stuff came out of some form of a protest. People did not like the status quo, and so they challenged it, and they used art to change culture. Mm-hmm. And now they're canceling it if they don't agree with it, right? Mm-hmm. They want everything to be just monotone. It's got to go right across the grain. Luke Bryan brings out Ron DeSantis on stage at a concert, and the place loses their mind. They're wanting to cancel him. Brittany Aldean, who's not even the singer, just happens to be Jason Aldean's wife. She talks about not transitioning kids and thankful that her parents didn't do that to her. And boom, 17 years of a PR firm's relationship with Jason Aldean is ended because of that. Mm-hmm. How far is this thing gone? But we could see that, but how ultimately do we stop that trend? I mean, is it a matter of just keep putting the stuff out there and let the chips fall where they may? Or do we need to back off a little bit?
We probably need to back off a little bit because it's hard not to look at a train wreck, right? So it's a train wreck over there, and they're always tossing stuff our way to get us upset, and then we talk about it all day, and then the next day it's something new, and then the next day after that it's something new again. But I think that we're right on the cusp of a transition where we need to pay less attention to what the left is doing and the woke culture and all that, and start paying more attention to what we're doing and what we're capable of doing. That's kind of like my hope with my album, is that putting this record out, what's phenomenal about the record so far is that it's charting on Amazon and Apple. I don't have a record label. I don't have a PR machine behind me. That's just the people saying we want this. Yeah. And when it's charting next to, we were 20 spots away from Taylor Swift the other day in the top Amazon albums. And that speaks volumes of the people's power, that when we focus on what we actually want, then it gets pushed up to the front and the other stuff starts to take a back seat to it. And I think that that's the pivotal point that we're at right now, is we've got to sort of stop. They're going to keep throwing stuff at us, and they're going to keep trying to cancel us. And as long as we keep charging through, I think that we'll be okay. We just have to stand strong and pay more attention to what we're doing. There's plenty of other artists out there besides me that are speaking up and saying things, but they're not seen as much. We have to sort of cultivate our culture, because that's what the left does all the time, is they really they push their agenda forward nonstop, like a powerhouse, all the time, and we don't really do that on this side as much, and I think we need to do that.
That's sort of like you had a cute ex-girlfriend and now you got a hot girlfriend, but yet you're going to keep paying attention to the cute ex-girlfriend, right? No, you don't do that. You focus on the hot new girlfriend, because that's where you're living right now. And that's kind of what I see your point in that. It's a valid point. We keep looking back at this other stuff, trying to get validation from the ex that we know doesn't like us, right? That doesn't want us.
Right.
So, kick that bitch out.
Yeah.
She's done. She's done. She cheated on us.
Right. It's kind of like that way with Hollywood right now. Is like if a Hollywood celebrity speaks up and says something that we remotely agree with, we get excited,
we jump all over.
Oh my gosh, they're one of us, right? And then they let us down like a few days later or something, and just ignore it. Just charge through, and just we just need to be ourselves and make our own thing. Quit hanging on to the past. I mean, like, are they one of us? It's tiring because how long are we going to keep this up?
Yeah.
And there's little ways to just keep pushing forward. But I think if we can, in as a whole, just start ignoring a lot of it. We don't have. It's good to be informed. It's good to know what's going on out there. But a lot of it's just fluff to get under our skin,
right.
and we do the same thing too. But we have to do it harder and stronger than they do.
Yeah,
I think.
Dude, that's a great point. Have you been paying attention real closely to this midterm election stuff? Are you watching it at all?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I don't trust anything. After 2020, I really don't trust anything because I thought Trump had it in the bag against, brain dead Joe Biden. I thought just by default he had it because the country was moving in a direction that everybody seemed to be enjoying the fruits of the labor. But the thing I can't get over, and I want to skip down the page there a little bit, Chris. Okay. I want to go to Fetterman. And that clip where the flags fall behind him, and I want to show it, just in case folks haven't seen it. Play that clip real quick.
America.
I mean, there's your sign right there.
Right.
I mean, if God had never, just kind of just told you right there, this is not what America needs.
Right.
I mean, this guy, I've seen monkeys at the zoo with more sense than this guy. And listen, I don't blame it on the stroke. The stroke in and of itself should have disqualified him from whatever he's trying to do here. But my God, the fact that Pennsylvania will still wait after Election Day tomorrow, they'll still wait multiple days before they determine the outcome of the election. They'll say, "Oh, it's too close to call. It's going to take days to count and recount, and then who knows? Maybe they find more ballots in the trunk of a car somewhere when nobody's watching."
Yeah.
But the fact that they could trot this monkey out up here. Did you happen to see his knockoff commercial that he did with the kid with the Coke?
Gosh. It's horrible.
It's
a cruel experiment at this point. I'm like, they're like, let's see how bad we can make it.
Yeah.
And see if we can still get
win.
the votes. Yeah.
Still win.
It's unbelievable.
And I'm not a fan of Mehmet Oz, but he's still, he is arguably one of the most articulate people, statistically. I mean, he's incredibly articulate. He's a great speaker. He's obviously an intelligent man. And you're going to put that up against, Monkey John Fetterman here, who probably slings his own poo. This dude, he's limping away from an apartment, I guess. Like, what have you been doing, John? You've been in an apartment with a kid? What are you limping away from, dude? Like, those were the questions I'm asking. I'm like, if a conservative had made this commercial, and it's a knockoff of the old 1970s commercial, 1980s commercial, where Mean Joe Green is he's walking through the thing, he's after the game, and the kid comes up, hands him a Coke, and he tosses him a jersey. Everybody's an iconic deal. So as a repeat of that, a remake of that, for those of you who haven't seen it. But if a conservative had made that commercial, first of all, do you have it?
Yeah, I'm having it now.
Play it.
Oh, my gosh.
What's he limping from?
Mr. Fetterman.
They spent money on this.
Yeah,
Mr.
somebody thought it was a good
Fetterman.
idea.
Yeah,
You need any help?
I'm running for the U.S. Senate, kid. I need all the help I can get.
You're running for Senate?
Sure.
Is this made on an iPhone?
Where's your suit?
I think it was.
And your flag pin? And your hair?
Oh, hey, kid.
I just want you to know I'd vote for you.
Hey, thanks, kid.
You want a drink?
Nah, no.
Really, you can have it.
Okay. Thanks.
There's copyright infringement right there.
Right.
See you around.
Look how much he downs this soda all the way down.
All the way.
Hey, kid.
Huh?
Catch.
Wow! Thanks, Mayor John.
The smile.
Oh, gosh.
Dude, it's a cartoon, bro. It's a cartoon. Somebody in the print shop ran off a little transparent label that says Fetterman, threw it on a Coke bottle. They played the old Coke music, which, if a conservative had done that, that would have been parodied on Saturday Night Live. I mean, it was already a parody. It's a parody of itself. But he's limping along, and it's like, what are you, a stroke victim? Oh, that's right. You are. And so, this would be, oh, look at conservatives are making fun of people with disabilities. It's whatever.
Regardless, though, he's incoherent. of beyond anything else, whether he's had a stroke or not, he's incoherent, and he's not a strong candidate. He's not a strong person to be on the stage representing America.
No.
And that's the overall issue, and it's unbelievable because you watch that and the first thing is this real?
Yeah.
It's either so brilliant of a move that they're like, yeah, people are going to talk about this, they know what they're doing, or it's just so bad that they're just they don't have it together over there.
I remember when Michael Dukakis was running against George Bush, and he put that stupid helmet on and rode around in the tank, and he lost the damn election. When Howard Dean was screaming and reeing on stage, doing all that stuff, that lost him the election. Now they're putting the dumbest shit in the world out there just to see, like, oh, now people aren't paying attention anymore. And apparently we're not paying attention because these guys are still relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a joke. When I first saw John Fetterman was going to run for Senate, I was like, it's got to be a joke. I mean, y'all aren't serious about this guy.
Yeah.
So
it's an experiment. It's an experiment to see how low of a candidate we can get with the cheapest budget too.
Yeah.
When you look at that commercial and you're like, what does that say about his passion for America that he's not even willing to invest into his commercials? He's like, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, that'll do. Thanks, kid. With the big smile at the end. Oh, my gosh. Hey, when you're looking for a gift for everyone, here's a good idea for a stocking stuffer. And get some Raycons. It's a good place to listen to 5 Times August music, actually. Raycons are the way to go. They're wireless earbuds. They got headphones and speakers. They offer premium sound, useful features, and almost custom comfortable fit. And you get up to 54 hours of battery life. And as the person gifting them, you've got to love that they start at half the price of other premium audio brands. Plus, Raycon makes it easy with holiday gift guides for everyone in your life. Or knock that list out all at once and get 30% off by shopping Raycon's holiday bundles. Everybody needs a pair of Raycons in their ears, whether it's for listening to music, taking work calls, or blasting a workout playlist. What everyone doesn't need, they don't need those 2 little stems hanging out of their ears. Luckily, Raycons are sleek and stylish and comes in a range of colors to match anyone's style. The Raycon website also offers buy now, pay later options for you liberals. Now, right now, I want you to go to buyraycon.com, buyraycon.com/watchchad, and use code EARLYBF to get 20% off site-wide. That's 20% off any Raycon product, which almost never happens. Or save even bigger and get 30% off Raycon's exclusive holiday bundles. That's code EARLYBF at buyraycon.com/watchchad for 20% off your Raycon purchase. Buyraycon.com/Chad. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, folks. It's that opportunity that I have every time we have one of these things called a podcast to attempt to wax eloquent. You guys get the opportunity to listen to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've spent the last 20 years or so on pins and needles just waiting for the day when you'd hear that Nancy Pelosi is going to step down from her elevated position as Speaker of the House of Representatives, well, your wait may be at long last over. Tomorrow, we're going to find out whether the House of Representatives is taken over by a Republican majority, in which case we can weep for the state of our country. Yeah, I said it. Or if it's kept by the Democratic Party, in which we just put all our heads between our knees and kiss our asses goodbye. I'd much rather do the weeping part. Truly, There is nothing more depressing than facing the fact that no matter who wins tomorrow, we all actually will lose a little bit. And let's not forget that among the pantheon of the puling and pusillanimous politicians we all look at and go, how the hell are they still in office? Pelosi surely must stand near the top of the bullshit mountain. Am I right? I think I'm right. Now, leave aside for the moment that she has enriched herself in astonishing and frankly suspicious fashion as a public servant who keeps adding digits to her figured salary every year after year. Cast your eyes away from the curtain of weird secrecy behind which she has done things like having her son fly with her on her ill-advised trip to Taiwan. You know, that story that fell down the memory hole faster than Jeffrey Epstein falling off his bed. Ignore, if you will, and if you can, the fact that her latest familial escapade into the weird and unexplained world involved her husband and a wild, crazy man, both in their underwear, getting into a violent struggle in front of the police so bizarre that it's led many to speculate that there was both hammering and nailing going on right there. Now, leave all of that aside, and if you still got a wildly incompetent crypt keeper aged booze hound who passes bills so she can read them, but only after she sobers up, well, right now, one of the top candidates to replace Pelosi, should she be cast down from her lofty heights, is Representative Hakeem Jeffries from New York. On the first day of this month, he met in secret with House Majority Whip James Clyburn from South Carolina, wherein they almost certainly sealed the deal for Jeffries while, sucking adrenochrome out of a martini glass or whatever as high-ranking politicians do behind closed doors. I don't know. According to Politico, the 52-year-old Jeffries was concerned enough that he offered to fly to South Carolina to seek the counsel of the 82-year-old Clyburn. The young lawmaker wanted to gently make sure his elder in the Congressional Black Caucus knew of Adam Schiff's quiet campaign, and to even more gently warn Clyburn about the risk of splitting votes between them and opening a path for the ambitious Californian. That's what they said. Now, that's from friggin' Politico. No friend to the right side of the aisle, folks. The long knives are out, and nobody seems to care too much who knows about it, and under normal circumstances, it would be pretty obvious that Pelosi's time had come. She's in her 80s and sucking the blood of the innocent. It just isn't getting her back to homeostasis as well as it once did. But it's worth noting that she also is a powerhouse fundraiser, one of the most successful the Democratic Party has ever seen. So if you're a big fan of watching sharks try to eat each other, and who isn't, pay attention of how things go down over the next couple of days. Remember, even if we get the Democratic Party out of office in the House and, God willing, the Senate as well, we're still going to have to deal with them. They just don't go away. Nor should they, actually. Ultimately, I'd like to see a lot of them lose their jobs to more competent Democrats with better intentions. But hell, I feel the same thing about Republicans at this point. Yeah. So basically what I'm telling you guys is even the Democrats are ready to get Pelosi out. What do you think about that Paul Pelosi thing? That kind of a little freaky deal? Yeah.
There's a lot of little holes in that story.
A lot of things that don't add up with that whole deal, that's for sure. Let's go all the way back up to the top of these sots there. And let's hear what that old farmer had to say. Okay. Play it.
Everything down here is in disarray. Everything is, it's horrible. It's horrible to have to live your life scared to death, wondering if is this the day that I'm going to have to pull my pistol and actually use it. I'm tired of picking up the trash. I'm tired of fixing fences. I'm tired of living every day of my life wondering what's next.
Of all of it that's occurring, between the drug trafficking, the damage in your property, your friends and your neighbors leaving the area, not dealing with it anymore, what bothers you the most?
That my government doesn't give a damn.
You've been abandoned.
Been abandoned. And to me, that's treason.
Well, there you go. Everybody keeps saying there's no crisis at the border. Until a busload of illegals show up in their city, then they like, oh, well, yeah, we weren't ready for that. We weren't prepared for that. I mean, that guy's a living example of what's going on in the southern border of the United States. It's bad, folks, and it ain't going to get any better, and it's sure not going to get any better as long as we let this jackass of a president remain unfettered in terms of his accountability of what we can do to keep him in check and get some stuff done, for crying out loud. And me personally, especially after listening to music by 5 Times August, I want Republicans to get the House just so they can get subpoena power and start bringing some of these, calling into account some of these people, and let's really shake that tree and see what falls out. Right. After this COVID nightmare and the crisis that's gone on.
Mm-hmm. You don't want amnesty? For pandemic amnesty?
Well, I tell you, I got a few very specific things that I'm going to say about that. I've said a number of things already, but on Thursday's episode of this week, you will not want to miss the first 5 minutes of that show. I've got some very pointed things I want to say to old Emily Oster, who proposed that in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Nothing has pissed me off more than that.
Yeah, it's time for accountability for sure.
Yeah.
It's time. I mean, we're going into year 3, right? So we haven't had anybody answer to anything in almost 3 years.
Yeah.
And then to get that article, yeah, for sure, that set me off too, because that's been the fight.
And I don't know how many people actually read the article, but in it she talks about how her and her family they wore masks to go hiking. And they kept distance as they walked past people hiking. And they were worried about catching COVID hiking. And she goes, now we look back, we see how silly it was that we thought we could get COVID by hiking out in the wilderness. Yeah, did you? I mean, did you? I mean, it took you, 2.5 years, almost 3 years to realize how silly that was when those of us from the very beginning were saying, that's dumb. You were writing songs about it, for crying out loud.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about these songs is I expected them to be irrelevant after a year or two, and they got more relevant. But you had people swimming in masks, hiking in masks.
Having sex in masks.
Oh, yeah. Put the blanket over.
Yeah, the kids in their little individual tents with a little cut.
They cut the hole in it. Yep.
Playing tuba through a mask in a tent.
Yeah.
Dude. But they did. They were saying, articles were coming out saying people need to be if you're going to have intercourse, it needs to be masked.
You got to be extra safe.
Different kind of safe sex.
Extra safe.
So now, we want us to look back. And again, I'm going to save my zingers for Thursday because they're pretty pointed. I put a shirt out over the weekend that said no amnesty. Never forget, never forgive. And a lot of people came at me saying, what do you mean never forgive? We're Christians, we're supposed to forgive. I said, what they did to you is unforgivable. What they did, I'm not talking about an individual. I'm talking about the big government tyranny, the big corporate medical. I'm talking about all of that, big pharma. I'm talking about they literally created a larger mortality rate so they could drive profits higher for a vaccine and for pharmacies, for big pharma. And I'm like, no. Not you got an individual. I mean, if Aunt Susie said you can't come to Christmas because you're not vaccinated, that's between you and her as to whether or not you're going to forgive her. That ain't what I'm talking about. I will not forgive what they put in place. I just won't forgive it. The systems of government, the systems of tyranny, I will not forgive that. People say, well, we have to forgive. And I was like, do you forgive Hitler? Do you forgive Mao? Do you forgive Stalin? I don't think you do. I mean, God knows you probably can't forgive the girl that pissed you off in 8th grade. So my shirt says never forgive, and I don't. So there it is. It's time to make your health great again as we get closer to the new year. And so if you're looking to ignite your fat-burning metabolism, boost your energy, and transform how you look and feel, you need to start taking care of your liver. Your liver is the body's master detoxifier. It performs over 500 key functions in your body every day, responsible for cleansing and removing thousands of harmful toxins. It's called Liver Health Formula. Liver Health Formula contains 12 powerful botanicals clinically proven to recharge and protect your liver at the cellular level. It helps restore your liver's detoxifying abilities, boost your energy levels, and can kick your natural metabolism into high gear. Liver Health Formula is backed by the latest science and approved by American doctors, and every bottle is manufactured right here in America as well. And right now, as part of my audience, you can try Liver Health Formula completely risk-free. Receive 5 free gifts when you order today. That's right, I said 5. You're going to receive a free 30-day supply of nano-powered omega-3. This powerful blend of omega-3 fatty acids supports a healthy heart and brain. 4 times better absorption thanks to this special nano delivery system. You're going to get 4 free ebooks to support every aspect of your health and longevity, regardless of age. I want you to go to getliverhelp.com/Chad. Claim that risk-free supply of Liver Health Formula. Get all 5 bonus gifts. You're covered for 365 days with a money-back guarantee, so you got nothing to risk or lose. That's getliverhelp.com/Chad, or call them 800-282-1757. We'll be right back. All right, we got to talk about Fetterman one more time. It's just a joke. Play what he said about Roe v. Wade. You got that one there? Play it. Look at him. It's a good-looking man.
Sure is.
I run on Roe v. Wade. Celebrates the demise of Roe v. Wade.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently, he's pro-life now.
That's the funny thing is there's so many gaffes with that guy.
Yeah.
Each individual one would have been one that, like, back in George Bush's day, you get one every now and again.
Yeah.
You know, every day.
Yeah.
It's a new one.
I run on Roe v. Wade. He does have that Obama hated. He does. Yeah.
I run on Roe v. Wade.
Roe v. Wade.
Celebrates the demise of Roe v. Wade.
Should put that audio over Obama clip.
He does.
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
What's funny, I just watch weird, like the expressions. Like whenever Joe Biden and Obama came up on stage and Fetterman was greeting them, and I just look at that smug look on Fetterman, his face, like he doesn't really know what to do with himself, but he also doesn't know what to do with them. Like he just doesn't need them there, sort of. Like I got this, but it's a weird way to. I don't know how to interpret what I saw, but it's a crazy deal. But anyway, real quick, when you go into writing music and you're writing songs, what's kind of your process? Do you have a process, or does it just kind of hit you whichever way?
Well, these songs are they've been real different than how I used to write. I mean, I spent 20 years writing pop love songs for the most part, ballads and stuff like that. And I did a project called the Juicebox Jukebox, which was kids music. That was what I was doing prior to this. And it's different for each sort of thing. These, they just have sort of came to me. Sad Little Man was a title.
Yeah.
And I never really write songs based on a title, but I thought that's just what he is, you know. A lot of these actually came to me through titles, which was different for me, because usually what it is, I say, thumb around on the guitar, and then a melody will come, and then I'll think of the subject later. Yeah. But the subject matter is at the forefront, obviously, and so I put, you know, I think what it is sort of writing a book in reverse, where you have the title of the book and you go, what's that book about? Well, and then you write the song about it.
And I want you guys to go to 5timesaugust.com and get the new album Silent War and order the CD just so you can have it in your truck or car, and your kids or grandkids will go, "Grandpa, what is that? What is that thing?" And you say, "Well, the Lord dropped a gift into our laps. We don't know. It's a weird little shiny obelisk here that, ooh, look at that." And they'll just be amazed by that.
Inside this disc are the answers to our times. But
this is this is substantial. I mean, you've got the full CD booklet in there.
Yeah, I wanted some weight to the actual object, because a lot of in the mainstream music, you'll see, like, if you go to Walmart and look at CDs these days, it's like a paper flimsy thing with nothing to it so much. And I've done that before in the past, but this, I wanted to have some weight to it, and I thought I'm going to put the lyrics into it, and you know, I've got your name in that thank you list among some other BlazeTV
That's what I'm talking
folks.
about right there, dude.
I appreciate your support that much.
Well, dude, I appreciate you. You inspire me in a lot of ways, actually. I appreciate, one, your friendship, but I appreciate your takes on Twitter. Like, Twitter wouldn't be the same without you there.
Oh, well, thank you.
And the insight that's there, I value it and appreciate it. And the fact that you made this CD and then put it in a case and gave it the whole deal, like that's inspiring to me. I want to know who did all that for you, because now I've got ideas for my crappy music.
No, you got good music.
Yeah, we have fun with music, but there's I've told our audience we got the new record label in Nashville that's coming out. That's anti-woke. I want you connected with those guys. I'm gonna do everything I can, because we just got to stick together.
Yeah,
we got to stick together, or as Benjamin Franklin said, we hang together, or we all. Or we hang separately.
Yeah. That's like what you were talking about earlier, though. How do we get past this? And if we can band together and do, if a record label came and represented this music and helped get it out there, actually, we had a machine. Like I said earlier, I don't have a machine pushing. This is whatever happens with this record is because of the people and their voice. So, I think that's what we're going to have to start doing is coming together and working to push forward like that. So that's great.
I love it. I just had a big idea pop in my head. Y'all will find out about it later. I'm going to talk to you when we go to a break. Listen, election night. It's tomorrow. And the stakes are the highest they've ever been for a midterm election. I mean, you hear that almost every election cycle, but this time it is 100% true. Hopefully there'll be a red wave. Will there be? Everybody's anticipating one. Hopefully it's large enough to propel the GOP to victory in the Senate. Will the woke left finally be put on their heels? I want you to join Glenn Beck, Jason Whitlock, Ali Stuckey, Steve Dace, all your favorite Blaze TV folks live on election night. That includes me, by the way. I'm one of the favorites. And let's watch the results come in together. Most cable news and corporate media networks, they're just parroting the party line during their election coverage. We're going to give it to you straight on election night without the spin and the bland talking points. We also have a lot of really cool surprise guest appearances planned throughout the night that you do not want to miss. So join us 7:45 p.m. Eastern over at blazetv.com or Blaze TV YouTube channel as we help you make sense of the election results. Promo code is Red Wave if you're signing up over there. And you get $30 off. That's a pretty good deal. Now, I still like, my promo code. But I'll let you go over there and use Red Wave this time. Get $30 off your annual subscription. We're going to see you tomorrow night. It's going to be great. Don't go anywhere. We're not done. Hang tight. We're coming right back. Are you doing any live shows? You going out and playing any?
Yeah, my stage has changed though. I've been performing at rallies and events rather than just
doing shows.
Concerts and venues, which has been different for me. But they've been some of the coolest things. Earlier this year, I got to perform at Defeat the Mandates rally in D.C., which was on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Awesome. So, those things are things that I don't think I would have ever places I never would have dreamed of playing. So that's pretty incredible. Yeah.
That's a good deal. I love it. And I remember you doing that. I saw it. It was awesome. Thanks for coming on the show. 5timesaugust.com. Get all his music. Download it, stream it, get the CDs. When the album comes out, I'm first in line. When the record, vinyl, I want it. I like it. Okay, what am I doing? Let's see. And now that you've subscribed to Blaze TV, now that you've downloaded his music and ordered it online, I want you to come see me. I'm going to be in Quincy, Illinois this Saturday night. That is the 12th. Quincy, Illinois, all the information can be found at watchchad.com. That's my website. That's where all the fun stuff is. And next week, I'm going to be 4 nights, 5 shows, Port Charlotte, Florida, coming back to the Vasani Theater. So we're going to be packing it out. I was checking the seating charts for the week. That starts Wednesday night, goes through Saturday night. So listen, trust me when I tell you, that place always fills up. Get your tickets now, watchchad.com, and then the calendar for the rest of the year is going to be fun. Tune in tomorrow. Election coverage. We're going to be right here preparing for it. We love you. God bless you. We will see you there. Please take care of yourselves and go vote. Bye.